My family voted me out at Dad's $800 birthday dinner. I silently slid a folder across the table, filled with $78,000 worth of receipts. My sister shrieked, and her marriage unraveled. They say family stays close, but mine clung to me like parasites. It was my father's 60th, a landmark occasion, as Karen put it in the group chat I was never invited to, until it was time to foot the bill. A surprise dinner at a decent steakhouse. Nothing extravagant. The kind of spot with plush booths, butter pooling on every ribeye, and jazz crooning too loudly from overhead speakers. I covered the deposit. I paid for the custom cake. I even shelled out for the balloons with his name in silver foil. I arrived 15 minutes early, as always, because I'm the one who shows up first. No one smiled, no one waved, not even a glance. Just a tense hush, the kind that settles before a bombshell drops. Everyone was already at the table. My siblings, their partners, kids running wild in party hats, buzzing on sugar, oblivious to the mood. My seat was the only one empty, squeezed between Karen, my older sister, and Jake, the younger brother who once called me in tears when his truck died outside Reno. I'd sent him $1,200 that night, no questions asked. No one acknowledged me as I sat. I asked where Mom was. Silence. I asked if Dad had seen the gift I'd left at the host stand, an engraved watch I'd saved 4 months to buy. Still nothing. Then Karen leaned close, her lavender perfume hitting me like a stranglehold, and hissed, "You're lucky we even invited you." I froze. "What?" She pulled back, smirking like she'd just landed a knockout punch. Then she stood, raised her wine glass, and tapped it with a spoon. Clink, clink. "Before we dive into the prime rib my brother so kindly covered," she began, her voice dripping with theatrics, "we have something to say." The table went quiet. Even the kids stopped squirming. "It's time we address something that's been simmering for years," she went on, gripping her chair like a courtroom judge delivering a verdict. "Trevor's made his choices. His job, his single life, his little pet over there." She waved vaguely in my direction. "That's his right. But choices come with costs." My stomach twisted. Not because I was blindsided, but because I'd sensed this coming. I'd felt it in the group chats I was excluded from, in the half-hearted thank yous, in the jabs disguised as humor. And now it was here. "So, after much family discussion," Karen continued, glancing at Jake, at Mom, at Dad, who didn't blink, "we've decided to part ways. As of tonight, you're no longer part of this family." A beat of silence. Not the kind that invites protest, but the kind that reveals allegiances. Then, clapping. Scattered, uneasy applause, like a poorly received toast at a reunion. My cousin Lisa let out a, "Yeah," and raised her martini. Jake nodded like he'd just approved a business deal. Mom kept picking at her grilled salmon, eyes glued to her plate as if nothing was happening. I looked at Dad. "You're okay with this?" He sipped his whiskey and mumbled, "It's probably for the best." My throat tightened. I sat there, surrounded by people I'd financially propped up for over a decade. People whose rent I'd covered, whose kids I'd taken to amusement parks, whose crises always landed in my lap. "You planned this," I said softly. Karen flashed the same rehearsed smile she used at every holiday gathering. "Of course we did. We wanted to handle it with respect." Respect. I reached into my coat, pulled out a thick manila envelope. Heavy, intentional, sealed. I placed it on the table, not with a slam, just finality. "Then you won't need this." Karen arched a brow. "What, your diary?" I gave a small smile. "Close. It's everything you thought I'd never bring up." She scoffed and snatched the envelope, ripping it open like she expected a petty letter or another check with a snarky note. Instead, she found a stack of documents, bank statements, dates, transactions, screenshots, names. Her hands shook. But before we get to the shouting, the denial, the chaos, let me explain how we ended up here, because no one disowns a family member without cause. And in my case, I had 78,000 reasons. They didn't always resent me, not outright. It was more that I slowly stopped being useful in the way they wanted. Growing up, I was the quiet kid, the responsible one, the one who stayed out of trouble, didn't demand attention, didn't need nagging to finish his assignments. While Karen threw fits and Jake broke furniture, I was reading novels and troubleshooting the router. And the thing about being easy in a chaotic family, you don't get celebrated, you get overlooked. I left home at 18. No fanfare, no tearful farewell. I loaded a U-Haul, signed a lease on a tiny apartment an hour away, and put myself through college. 2 jobs, no support. Mom called me independent, like it was a badge of honor. Dad said, "That's just Trevor, self-reliant."